Alrighty. Looks like we're ready to go here. Alright. Welcome to ALR Season 9, Tier 7, Round 1. I'm the host for the post commentary, the Canadian, or the Dude 360, current Tier 2 driver, professional spinner, and yeah, I'm going to be doing post commentary for this tier, this season. And looking forward to seeing some good racing here. So, going to start off here with our teams. So, first in the draft, we got Clouds and Fat Band. They chose the BMW M6 Endurance. It's a good pick. Second in the draft, we got Reese and Crack.
Man's doing all the commentary.
And they got the Porsche 911. Great car. Wanted to select that in my tier. Unfortunately, banned. We got JP and Denja in the McLaren 650S. AMG 16. We got D-Dubs and Quackhouse. In the BRZ, we got Lewis Telemon and Happy Dragon. Audi R8, we got Jezza and Dan's, or Bad Robot. BMW M3, we got T. Nivet, and I don't know if he has a teammate. Couldn't find it on the Discord there when I was quickly browsing through. On the Lexus, we have DeVith. V12 Vantage, we got Lord Hands and Mike. And then on the Dodge Viper, I believe we have CLR. So it looks like for this sprint race here, we got 14 drivers, so just a couple
Never
missing.
doesn't have a teammate, I think.
Yeah, so pretty good turnout for the first race. It's always good to see that. Real quick, I'm gonna adjust this. We'll turn off that repeating voice. That's on for the VR streams so that I can actually hear. So we'll adjust that real quick. Chat to speech, turn that off. So I'm gonna be looking at the comments here on my phone. Skinsy says no. So yeah, I haven't spoiled the two races for myself yet. I was very careful not to open that tier 7 chat and check things out, so gonna be going in here blind. So let's take a look here at the grid. Unfortunately, with post comms, we're gonna miss out on the ability to see the qualifying, but that's okay. You can see here, looks like Lewis T. Telemon on pole in the BRZ. And then we got Reese in the Porsche, P2. Going down to T. Nivet, P3 in the BMW. We got JP in the McLaren, P4. Jezza in P5 in the Audi. And we got Clouds in the M6, P6. D-Dubs, the AMG 16, great car. P7. We got Crack, P8. And in the Porsche, Fat Ban. In the M6, Quack House. AMG P10, DeVith. And the Lexus P11, Lord Hands. And the V12 Vantage. And then 13th here, we got Happy Dragon at the back. So, some pretty cool liveries going on here. We'll do a quick little browse through. Nice little BRZ. Nice little Aston. Defeat. Oh, with the Fanta. Very nice. I think this is just the base. Very nice, very nice. Skechers. There we go. Oh, I like this one from JP. That's sharp. That's a good looking McLaren. Highland Spring from T Nivet. That's a nice little design on that Porsche as well. And then, ooh, looking spicy in the BRZ. But yeah, let's get this show on the road here. Oh yeah. Trust me, you guys gonna be able to see tire wear. No worries, no worries. All right, let's get ready to roll here. Oh, a little false start there. And where are we? Here we go. On Suzuka. Slow start from the BRZ there. At the back. Here we go into turn one. Heard a little tire screech, but looks like we might make it through turn one okay here. A little bit of separation here from the pack. Gonna ride along with Fat Band for a second here. She comes through the S's. Tough section here. A lot of the grid on different tires. Mixture of racing softs, racing medium. Oh, Fat Band down the inside, squeezes by, makes the move, gets it done. Maybe been a little contact. Will he try and push back into the hairpin here? Let's take a look. Can't get the move done. Alright, so looks like Louis Telemon breaking away from the start of the pack here in the BRZ on the racing softs. We got T Nivet moving up into P2, I believe. He's on the medium, so we'll see how those hold out here. JP just right behind there. We're going to overtake him with the penalty also on the softs. We got Fat Man on the mediums. We got DeVieth behind him there on the softs, so we're going to see how that holds up here as he pushes Fat Man on the better tires. Jezza also on the softs. D-Dubs on the softs. Quackhouse softs. Crack on the softs. Lord Hands on the mediums. And Clouds on the softs. Happy Dragon in the mediums. Surprising considering that BRZ is so good on tires. Oh, and something must have happened to Reese. He's dropped down a few positions here. He must have missed it there. But you can see we're getting big separation here. Louis T. Tillman just absolutely breaking away from everyone. Gonna see if maybe JP can try and track him down, get him back in range, but let's see if we can find some battles here on the track. Oh! Who slides off track there? It might have been Jezza. Little mistake through turn one. On board with D-Dubs here. Putting some distance between him and Quack. See, will we see Team Fanta here kind of work together to try and catch up to Nivet? Those AMGs definitely have the straight line speed. A little bit of bump drafting might be able to close that gap. A little bit of tire screech from DeVieth there. Exiting the hairpin. Cracks closing in on Jezza here. Might have a good opportunity to make a move into the ever so interesting 130R. just falls short, not quite gonna make it here. Happy Dragon really seems to be struggling on those mediums right now, just hanging on the back. Oh, something's happened to D-dubs. We've missed it. One of the AMGs has just fallen back, and that gives a great opportunity for Happy Dragons to maybe get a little draft and see if he can get back in this pack. On board here with our leader, Lewis T. Telemon, and he is just breaking away. Fastest lap, 2:02. JP, 2:03. And they are just absolutely crushing the rest of the pack right now. So we'll rejoin with these guys in a little bit. We're going to check in on some battles here. Got a tight little group here. Gonna see how they play here coming into the hairpin. Great line by Crack here down the inside. Oh, but just can't match the exit speed there. Thought he might have had him. Trying to get live chat up and going here so I can check the comments. Beautiful. Alrighty, now we're starting to see a little bit interesting, a little bit of shake up here through the chicane. Always a good time through that chicane. On board with T-Nivet here. 2:04 last lap. Just a little bit off the pace of the leaders, but still putting together some great laps here. Trying to separate himself from P4. Just a great job through this section here. Really making sure he hits those apexes. So this looks like the main battle right now. This Fat Band, Crack, Jezza, and Clouds really pushing each other. Crack is... Oh! Something from Devith. Missed that there. That's going to drop him back into P8. Might lose P9 to D-Dubs, who I believe, yeah, also might have had a little bit of an issue there. Two AMGs having a tough go so far. Definitely a challenging circuit. Lots of room for mistakes. Ooh, around the outside, takes a peek. Sides, no, not going to make it there. Oh, might swing back inside. Devith getting a little squirrely on the exit. Let's see how that straight line speed of the Mercedes goes. Takes a peek, but decides, no, not worth it. So it looks like Fat Ben has fallen off the back of that little train. So he's stuck in no man's land here. He's got to try and have a good S section here and try and get back in touch with that pack. Crack still having a tough time trying to build that gap between him and P4. So close between these cars here. And as we can see, Lewis Telemon just miles ahead right now, and JP about half a mile ahead. Just absolute blistering pace from those two right now. Oh, and Jezza loses it. Going into the hairpin. Don't know if there was any contact there, or maybe just a little bit of instability in the car coming over that little right-hander before the hairpin. So easy to make mistakes on this track. It really takes a lot of focus. And as this goes on, tires start to wear a little bit. You really got to be aware of your grip levels and just staying with it. Starting to get a little bit of spacing here in the pack. Check on how everyone's tires are holding up. Lewis, the BRZ, if I had to guess, probably going to be the best on tires. That car is just an absolute machine when it comes to keeping those tires alive. And just look at the consistency there. 2012, 2019, 2019. So putting in some good laps, Lewis Telemon. Slightly worse on the left side tires there in the McLaren, but still putting in some good laps. Maybe a little mistake on the 204 last lap. The Porsche, quite excellent on tires. That's some good driving by Crack there. Putting in some good lap times. Maybe starting to close that gap to JP a tiny bit, but you know, we're about 2, maybe 3 laps away from the end of the sprint. So I think, pending some sort of mistake from JP or Lewis, we might see those two 1-2 on the podium. Nivet on the mediums, really pushing for that final podium position. He's going to have the tire advantage probably here, depending. Oh, down the inside! Is he going to get it done? No, Crack with a better exit there. Great racing there to avoid the contact. We love to see that. That's some great driving from our Tier 7 drivers there. Great respect. Cloud's hanging in there on the softs. Fat Ben on the mediums, getting pushed by DeVief. On the softs behind him, his tires are looking pretty good. See what kind of exit we get here on the corner. Is he going to have a chance going into 130R? Oh, he goes off just wide. Really trying to push it there to catch up to Fat Ben. Just makes just a small mistake. Recovers through the S section or the chicane there a little bit, but I think he may have put himself out of draft range there. Oh wow, and that Audi just chewing up those rear tires. So it would be interesting to see how Jezza and his teammate in the Audi manage that rear tire wear issue. AMG doing pretty good on the softs there, but has fallen so far back here from Jezza. His teammate Quackhouse even further behind him. Happy Dragon on the mediums, obviously just like he's barely used them. And Lord Hands missed what happened to him, but he's back in P12 there. So we're going to stick with this group for a little bit here as they're going for the final podium spot. As it looks like Crack's tires slowly starting to give out on him, but he's still got the lap time advantage here as he's going to continue to pull away from Nivet. Love this overhead shot here. Great angle. Jezza and DeVith getting close up the hill here. Jezza looks like he might be trying to sneak in the inside. Oh, nope. Not quite close enough here for a move. You see him letting off the throttle early there. He's going to try and go for the better exit. See how he goes through the chicane. Tough chicane section there. I think he's really starting to feel those tires. DeVith just absolutely incredible on tires right now. Could probably go for another 3-4 laps. Just absolute great tire management there from him in the Lexus. So final lap here. We'll go on board with our race leader for a little bit here. Louis Telemon, absolutely blistering pace and incredible consistency. Just banging out the 201s and 202s. So this has been a great sprint from him. And barring some sort of insane binning, I think he's going to bring this home pretty easily. Beautiful section through 130R. Let's see how he takes the chicane. Very nice. And that's going to be a sprint win for Louis Telemon in the BRZ. So congrats to him. Let's see JP here. He's going to sneak into P2. And it looks like T-Nivet isn't going to get P3 here. It's a great drive from Crack in the Porsche. A great drive from both these guys here. Some great battling. Crack, P3, T-Nivet, P4. Fat Band coming around. He's going to be P5. Jezza going to hold on for P6. DeVith coming around for P7. Clouds finishing up P8. And then it looks like the rest of the drivers here weren't able to cross the line before the 15-minute timer. So D-Dubs is going to be P9 there. And Quackhouse P10. Lord Hands is going to finish P11 there. So good sprint race. Saw some clean driving there. We're going to move right along to the feature here. Thanks to T-Nivet for sharing. It's the first one that popped up for me, so I'm going to load in here and give it a go. Be interesting to see some of the tire strategies going on. We saw the Audi really struggling on the soft tires, especially in the rear there, and comparatively to the BRZ, BRZ was great on tires. Lexus great on tires, so we're going to see some difference in pit strategy here, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this one. So it looks like Happy Dragon might have either lagged out or potentially quit out of that race. We'll take a look here at our reverse grid. So Lord Hands, obviously, D-Dubs, Clouds, DeVith, Jezza, Fat Band, Nivet, crack JP. Lewis Talman, yeah, there's his teammate, Happy Dragon. Dens. So Jez's teammate looks like he either missed the quali or couldn't make a sprint. Marvel in the Viper, so same thing with him. And then don't actually have this name here. Minge. Sorry if I butchered that name. This must be Denja, because he's in the McLaren. So that must be Denja. All right. So reverse grid, rolling start on this one. We got Lord on mediums, Quack on mediums, D-Dub starting on mediums, Clouds on mediums. DeVith going with the racing hards. Interesting, because the McLaren was doing, sorry, not the McLaren. The Lexus was great on tires in the sprint, so interesting choice with the hards there from him. Jezza starting on softs, so that Audi, looking to just burn those softs quick and get as many positions as he can. Fat Band on the mediums, Nivet on the mediums, Crack on the mediums, JP on the mediums, Lewis Telemann on the mediums. His teammate behind him, Happy Dragon, on the softs. So looking to gain some positions there. Interesting, we saw him on the mediums for the sprint. So maybe realizing he might be able to push those softs pretty far here. Dens on the mediums, CLR or Marvel on the mediums, and then Denja on the hards from P15. Interesting to see here. All right, let's not waste any more time here. Let's get this show on the road. It's feature race, Tier 7 ALR. And let's see how we get about. In the turn 1. Ooh, a little bit of contact. Ooh, looks like Fat Band taps DeVith. And then he gets tapped in the back, sending DeVith wide. Oh my god, and they make contact. Oh my goodness. He spins. DeVith is into the wall in the gravel. And just like that, those guys are into the back of the field. That's tough luck. See how that ends up potentially in the stewards. That looks like, JP just gets pushed wide maybe, or maybe just a little bit too much acceleration. And he drops back into 11th. In front of a Marvel into the gravel, and whew, guys just struggling out there with the cold tires to start the race. So Lewis Telemann already up into P8, flying through the pack here. As it looks like Jezza tried to squeeze around the outside there on the exit, just couldn't get it done. Looks like he ran out of room. Lots of moves there in the chicane. And CLR off again. Oh my goodness, everyone I zoom. Oh, he swings back into the track and clips him. He sends him into the gravel or into the dirt. That's tough luck there. Some absolute chaos to begin this race. Dens and Denja side by side. Denja's going to get by him here, but they're awfully close going to this dangerous, fast-paced sector here. Fat Band just goes wide behind him in the AstroTurf. Oh my goodness. It looks like T. Nevitas went off in the chicane section. Oh! Dens just gets demolished from behind, rejoins JP, smacks him in the back of him. This is just absolute insanity to start this race here. And we might see more in the turn 1 as JP and T-Nivet side by side. JP goes down the inside, looks like he's going to get the move done in time here. T-Nivet lays off, kind of gives him the space. That's tough. Looks like we got Fat Ban, half-second penalty. DeVith still trying to recover from his early cluster muck with Fat Ban there. And CLR, we saw him go off a couple times. Let's check back in with our leaders here. Lord Hands managing to just escape all the massacre behind him and trying to put a gap between him and D-Dubs, who's in P2. Clouds, P3. Jezza, P4. And we might see a little interesting into the hairpin here. Let's see if we see any moves. And they're going to cover off the inside. Lewis Telemon up into P5, just turning his competition into mincemeat right now as they all crash and collide. And the big thing when you're racing from the back of the pack trying to move to the front, when you know you have the pace, all you have to do is try to avoid the contact and collisions. So we'll see if he can remain out of trouble here, because we saw he had the pace in the sprint. He was very rapid, so we'll see how the rest of this race turns out for him. Crack, P6. Denja back into P7 here. So some great recoveries. And now that there's a little bit more space in the pack, I think a lot of the craziness has maybe subsided here for a little bit. Gonna try and make the move. Dens, oh, he backs out. Fair play. Fair play just wasn't gonna have enough space there to try and get that done. That's great driving. There's just a great racecraft there. Great respect for his competitor and the McLaren ahead of him. Through the S's here. Tough section to pass. Tough section to pass. Can really only get a move done if they make a mistake in front of you and swing wide, and you can maybe scoot in the inside. But a great battle here between Dens and Denja. It looks like Dens has made it by, and ooh, just barely runs him out of space there. That's some great racing. JP flashing his lights saying, I went in on this action. Let me at him. We know he's got the pace. P2 in the sprint, but he's definitely, after a little love tap there to his teammate saying, hey, you know, maybe let me buy you. A little bit of team orders here potentially. Let's see. Denja says, no way. If you want to get by me, you got to battle for it. Oh, and they come together. Oh, not sure if JP sent Denja off there, but wow. The two McLarens battling it out. Flashing his lights. T Nivet, P10, Happy Dragon. Falling a little bit behind here on the soft strap, and P12. CLR, P13. Quackhouse. Missed what happened to him, but he's down P14. DeVith still struggling on those racing hards. And I'm starting to think that maybe the hards weren't the tire choice here. That's unfortunate, but it's not too late. Lap 3, you know, jump in the pits, swap those out, and see if you can make something work. D-Dubs has caught up to Lord Hands and passed him. It looks like Jez is also going to get past Lord Hands here as those racing mediums slowly give away to the soft runners. But great drive from him so far to hold on to P1 for 4 laps there. And we see Clouds really pushing him on the mediums. Oh! And I feel like I've jinxed Hands as he goes off in the gravel pit. That's going to give Lewis Telemon P4. He's going to drop all the way down. P8, might give up P9 to Dens. P10, nah. Oh, struggling to get back on the track. It's just great awareness here to not rejoin. We have ghosting in our league, but that's just proper racecraft there from Lord Hands. So kudos to him for waiting to safely rejoin there. So we got Jezza and D-Dubs and Clouds. That's the first little grouping. Lewis Telemon tracking him down here. He's got him in his sights. Next little grouping, we got Crack and JP battling it. JP absolutely rapid moving up through this pack after that early lap 1 mistake. And he makes the move by Crack with ease. T-Nivet hanging out P7. Just saying, hey, JP, battle with Crack a little bit. Let me get in this. You know, just gonna squeeze into slipstream range here in the uphill section. Hoping to slowly maybe close that gap. And as he goes purple through sector 3. Tough sector. And let's see what kind of exit we get on the straight. Just falling a little bit out of range to Denz here, but he puts up his best lap of the race so far at a 2:03. So he closed about 3 seconds there on Crack. Looks like Denja here's picked up a 1-second penalty. Maybe cut the chicane if I had to guess. We missed that one. Fatban just fallen a little bit behind here. Maybe made a mistake, or still just trying to recover from that early lap 1 incident with the Veeth. Happy Dragon on the softs, just struggling to find the pace. 2:07, but luckily the BRZ's good on tires, going to be able to stick out there on those softs and hopefully can find some time. Marvel and the Viper, 2:06 on the mediums, so we'll probably see him catch up and make a move here on Happy. Oh my goodness, he goes off into the gravel. I am just jinxing these guys. Lord Hands, gonna see how he recovers here after that tough sector 1 where he went off track. Quackhouse, DeVeeth still struggling on the hards. And let's stick with our lead group here for a little bit. On board with Lewis Telemon, and he tries to close the gap to Jezza in front. His tires are looking great. Oh, Jezza just went off a little bit. He's going to have dirty tires going in the chicane. As he continues to pressure D-Dubs here. But as he makes that slight mistake, he's now let Lewis into his slipstream range. And the sprint winner is hungry for another position here as he's in P3. And JP, first in the pits, going out on lap 5. So interesting strategy from JP. Oh, we see a move there. I missed it. I don't know if D-Dubs maybe had an issue in turn 1, but these three are now just clustered together here. Coming into a tough section to be close together. Let's see how they handle this. Lewis comes off early, gives some space to Jezza. Wants to avoid smashing into this back bumper there. Oh, a little bit of squirreliness there on the exit. As they continue to break away from Denz and T-Nevet, who are now battling. Let's see if we maybe see a move. And we can see that these top 5 drivers here have just begun to really, top 6, really pull themselves away from the rest of the pack. Crack is just stuck in no man's land here as T-Nivet and Denz go through 130R. And if you're Crack, you're just hoping that those guys start to battle a little bit and they give him a chance just to catch up and get in that slipstream range here. check back in with some of the other guys here. Happy Dragon up a couple places into P9. CLR and Clouds going into the chicane. Clouds just having a little bit of tough time with traction there on the exit. And that's going to give CLR a little bit more breathing room into the first sector here. So JP onto the softs. So I know that this feature race is going to go about 19 laps, maybe 20 for this tier. And he's already on the softs. We'll see how long he can make these tires last here. And we got DeVith into the pits, maybe finally decided, hey, these hard tires aren't working. But is it too late? 7 laps in, has he cost himself too much time? And Jezza right up on the bumper of that Mercedes. But D-Dubs just showing, if you're going to get by me, it's not going to be easy. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact. Little bit of a slide there from D-Dubs on the exit. And Jezza on the softer tires. Side by side, this is dangerous. How is this going to play out? And D-Dubs backs out. But he gets the better line through. He might come back at him in the chicane. And Jezza just with great pace through that chicane section. He's going to put a little bit of distance between him and D-Dubs. And now Louis Telemon is going to have D-Dubs in his sight. Den's just barely out of reach there. T-Nivet still stuck in kind of no man's land. He's falling back because he was battling with Dens there for a while. Oh, and someone's went off. Dens, maybe just a little bit. I know that R8 likes to get a little bit slidey in turn 1. If I had to guess, maybe just on the brakes. Back end might have slid out on him. And, well, he's got rear damage. But not sure, maybe there was contact. Tough to say. There was quite a bit of space, so maybe he went sideways in the corner and, yeah. No one else has front damage that was near him, so that's unfortunate for Dens. And we missed the overtake on D-Dubs, so that's unfortunate. But Louis Telemon now into the 204s on the mediums. Yes, he's going to start hunting down Jezza, who is just screaming for his rears right now, his rear tires. So, but he's got the pace right now to hold off Telemon for a couple more laps. He's in the 204s, Telemon's in the 204s, so while Telemon slowly lures him in, we're going to take a look at the rest of the back of the pack here. Fat Man with an incredible recovery drive here as he went off, I think, almost to the back of the grid in turn 1 there as his incident with DeVith. Denja in the McLaren on the hards. Not a bad drive on the hards, but I don't think this is the tire. I think he could have more pace on those medium tires. Happy Dragon, he's on the softs. His tires look great. 8 laps in, and he's not even halfway through. Unbelievable on what the BRZ can do with those tires. And as we say that, Denja squirts into the pits there. And JP up into P9. He's already got a pit stop under him, but he is blistering there with a 2:02.1, his fastest lap of the race. So he's got a Happy Dragon here. And through the S's, let's we'll see as JP here slowly, not so slowly, makes his approach. He wants by, he's flashing his lights. Little bit of contact there. It's tough when you have the pace and you're stuck behind someone in a section that's not good for passing. You gotta wait sometimes for a move. Oh, and he shoots down the inside. What a move by JP. Gets it done. Happy Dragon left it open, and he just took it. That's a great move by JP there. And now he's unleashed as he'll begin to chase down Fat Ben, who's on the mediums. And about a 4-5 second difference in lap times there between those two, so we'll probably see them come together if Fat Ben doesn't slide in the pits. Still quite a bit of space between P4, P5, and a lot of space between P6. So we'll rejoin the leaders here as Telemon is right on the bumper here. Going through the S's. Oh, he makes the move. Jezza struggling maybe on those softs that are dying. And Lewis Telemon into the lead on the mediums. His tires looking unbelievable. 10 laps in. And you got to wonder, when is he going to come in for the softs? Because Happy Dragon and the BRZ, just incredible on the tire wear. As that's the advantage of the BRZ. Just great through that sector 1. And Jezza really struggling now. You can see that rear left tire. D-Dubs easily gets by him there. Jezza really just struggling with grip. That's unfortunate. He slides off in the hairpin. Drops down to P5. And just like that, P2 to P5. Just trying to push those softs maybe a little bit too long. JP saying first time he's described as rapid. No doubt you have the pace, man. You're flying along. Interesting to see how you'll fare in the rest of the race here. So we'll do a quick recap. Lewis Telemon absolutely unleashed after getting by Jezza, putting a huge gap between him and D-Dubs. T-Nivet, P3, after Jezza loses it in the hairpin. He's sneaking up there on D-Dubs as his fronts are just a little bit worse for wear, but he is doing a little bit better on fuel. So as these two pit, it's going to be interesting to see where they come out, especially in relation to JP, who's already had his stop, who now has a lot of clean air on the soft tires. Denz in the other Audi, doing a little bit better on the tires than his teammate, but he's on the mediums. Actually, his teammate was on the softs, so. And through the end of Sector 1, Denz slowly closing in on T-Nivet here. Oh, as he catches a lot of that curb onto the AstroTurf, into the grass. Denz along the inside. T-Nivet's going to hold the line. Into the hairpin. Switch back from Denz. He's going to get it done. Great move. Great move from Denz there. That's some great driving and some great on-track respect there between those two. Love to see that. Just one small mistake from Nivet there. Hits the curb, goes on the AstroTurf, catches some grass on those tires, and he surrenders that position to Denz. Crack in the Porsche, doing well on the tires, hanging out his best time, 2:04. We got Fat Ben up into P6. Great job from him. And JP just closing the gap. Slowly reeling Fat Ben in as he's got to get by as many drivers. Well, he's got that clean air as he can. And here we see Lewis Telemon into the pits. Will we see D-Dubs follow him in? No. Den stays out. Nivet stays out. And it looks like Nivet is sizing up Dens here to try and make another move. He wants that P3 or P2 back. Fat Ben into the pits. He goes green in Sector 1. And JP and Lewis Telemon now are going to be battling. But Lewis Telemon's got the fresh softs. JP's just got to try and hang with him here. Can't let Lewis Telemon escape, because we saw in the sprint his pace was incredible on those soft tires. So if you're JP, you want to stay in that slipstream and just have him maybe pull you along, because that is your provisional leader once everyone gets their stops done. Fat Ben comes out of the pits. Really didn't lose too many positions. He's, I think he was in 6th when he pitted. He's still in 8th. So he's on fresh tires. He's going to start pushing Quackhouse here. See if he can get by him. D-Dubs into the pits. Nivet stays out another lap. His tires were a little bit better than the AMG. Fat Ben looks down the inside. Not quite enough room. But is he going to have the run on the straight? Oh, side. Oh, look. Oh, a little bit of contact. A little bit of pushing. Fat Ben gets by him. Not sure if Quackhouse maybe let off to avoid the big incident. Or maybe lost a bit of speed from the contact. But definitely a little bit of bump and go there from Fat Ben. So he's up into P7. Quacko says, "Whatever. I was diving into the pits anyways. You can have your position. Not worth losing it around 130R." So that's a smart move from him. Jezza out onto the softs as he really struggled with those mediums that died on him. Denja on the mediums, or sorry, it was Denja that was struggling on the softs and spun, I believe. Happy Dragon pitted. He's out on the mediums, looking to hopefully channel some of his teammate Lewis Telemon and see if he can get up into some good points. Devith just unable to really find it today. Had a little incident at the start of the race. Started on the hard tires and just having a little bit of a tough go. Lord Hands, same thing. Went off into the gravel, Sector 1. Waited to rejoin safely, and in that S section it was just car after car after car after car. So we're going to see if he can maybe track down Devith, but he's also on the hards, which I just don't think is the tire. Nivet finally pulls in. Dens says, "Hey, my tires are finally cooked." And Lewis Telemon, he's going to get by both of them in the pits here easy. So he is going to take over the lead. D-Dubs coming through the chicane. See where he comes out. He should come out in front of both these guys. Oh, it's going to be close in the turn one. Side by side on the cold tires. Dens just can't hold him off. D-Dubs makes it into P2. Den says, "Oh, you ain't getting that position back so easily." He's gonna keep pushing him. And just some brilliant driving from this tier so far in this race. A little bit of chaos on lap 1, but in a technical track like Suzuka, sometimes that's just the way the game goes. JP closing the gap on Crack here. Not sure what happened with JP, because he was kind of hanging around with Louis Telemon there as he's pushing Crack here through the hairpin around 218 and 212 the last 2 laps, so maybe a bit of a spin, maybe left the track, struggling to adjust to those new soft tires of the car. See what kind of exit he gets here coming up the hill. Ooh, swoops down the inside there. That's a good move. Crack just a absolute sitting duck, left that wide open, and JP is going to take that 10 times out of 10. That's a good move. Not much defense there from Crack, maybe knowing he had no chance at holding them off. As you can see, JP is already starting to build that gap through the S's. Jezza P7, Denja P8, Quackhouse P9, Fat Band P10, Happy Dragon P11, Devith P12, and Lord Hands looks like he might slowly be closing that gap to Devith. So we'll see if he can maybe scrounge up a position or two. I'm thinking he's gonna have to try. I'm not sure. Yeah, he's pitted, so he must be on those hards till the end. And Louis Telemon with clean air, just in another dimension here. Out for a Sunday drive, it would seem. Fresh tires, lots of fuel, and pending some sort of catastrophic mistake in the next 9 minutes, he might run away with this one. So Den's got a nice comfortable little space to P3, or yeah, between him and P3, and he with a little fresher tires than D-Dubs, but we've seen that that Audi struggle with tires, so we'll have to check back in with that in a couple laps. T Nevitt's fallen just a bit back at D-Dubs there, as he comes in with a 207 on those fresh softs, so about 3 seconds back of D-Dubs per lap. JP just closing about 5 seconds per lap here on Nivet. We'll see if he keeps up that pace. He might get a chance at Nivet here on the last lap, but it's going to be close. Crack keeping it close here to JP. We'll see if he can maybe get in reach of JP and maybe force him into a mistake. In the Air Jordan livery there on the Porsche. Jezza having a splendid race, just maybe one lap too long, I think. On the, or no, that was his teammate Denja. I keep mixing them up. And it looks like he's had an issue. He's slow in this section here, and Fat Band with the easy overtake. I think maybe making the same mistake he made on those soft tires earlier in the race, where he maybe went sideways into turn 1 under braking. So not many battles here on the track. So let's. Lord Hands has closed that gap to DeVith. About 2 seconds on the last lap there. So maybe we'll see a little battle here. This is the only 2 cars really on track where we have some potential for an overtake here, as everyone's quite spread out at the moment. And as I say that, I literally jinxed Lord Hands, and I didn't even see where he went off. But unfortunate for him, that's damage to his bump, or a front bumper there, and a little bit of suspension damage on the wheel. So unfortunate for the Aston, just couldn't quite recover after a great start, starting the race in P1. And really holding his own for a while there up front against some of the big dogs. As Louis Telemont just continues to pull away. This just consistency, and he's doing what you have to do on Suzuka. Drive a clean race, don't make a mistake, and your chances of a good finish are going to be really, really significant there. So we're checking in back with D-Dubs as T Nivet really pushing to try and get by him. He's reclosed that gap that he created, and we're going to hang out with this battle for a little bit. As that BMW is just keeping that AMG honest here. Through 130R. Nivet, a little bit better exit. Let's see. And he's right on his bumper now. Great exit from both drivers here. And we might see a little bit of excitement in the turn 1. Side by side, Nivet around the outside. Did he push it too hard? Oh. Just didn't have the grip to get the move done around the outside. But he managed to rejoin, make no contact with the AMG, and now he's just got to do his best to try and stay in range through the S's. As you've seen, he's struggling with the tire that maybe picked up a little debris there. Unfortunately for Nivet, he had a great opportunity at a move there, and I'm sure he'll probably get another run at him in the next couple laps. But great racing there from those two drivers. JP up into P5. Great work from him. Crack is falling back, but still putting in some good lap times. 2:03.1 last lap. So maybe starting to close that gap again on JP. Jezza just stuck in no man's land here. No one around him. Just saving maybe the tires and just trying to make to the finish here, as it looks like we might make it to lap 20. Tough to say. Oh, Some of the drivers might make lap 20, some of them might not. Fat Band, same thing. Out in no man's land. Quackhouse, no man's land. So I think pending some mistakes from these guys, they're going to be pretty solidified here unless DeVith gets an opportunity to make a move on Happy Dragon for the bottom of that, for the bottom of the pack. Oh, and I've missed it. Nivet overtook D-Dub somewhere. Bad timing for me to switch away. We'll go on board with D-Dubs here. I thought Nivet had fallen too far back with those tires that he was going to need a lap, maybe two, to try and get back in range, but maybe a mistake from the Mercedes driver there, as he now has flip-flopped with Nivet, and now he's battling to get back at him. Just mixed the apex there ever so slightly. Almost went wide on the turf, but a good save there. And Dens maybe made a mistake somewhere, as now Nivet. Thought I saw him on the camera, but that's just it's the back marker there. So we'll see how this affects things, as now Nivet has to try and get by Lord Hands. Oh, and these guys are going to be dangerously close in the 130R. Because Nivet's moving, or using him as a draft. Is he going to let him by easily? Yeah, that's great awareness by Lord Hands there to let him by on the blue flag. He doesn't want to hold him up. Oh, that's a terrible view. And Nivet pulls it out. P3. Whereas they're not going to get their 20th lap in. I was really hoping to see them go another lap. That's unfortunate. D-Dubs P4, JP P5. Great race from him. Great recovery drive. Crack P6. That's a good drive from him. Jezza P7. Den's not going to be able to close in on Louis Telemon, I don't think. Although gap not as big as it was, maybe a mistake from Louis Telemon somewhere. Because he had a massive gap. Although Den's with it too flat. Oh my goodness. Out of nowhere. That is just blistering from him. Really pushing here. Fat Band's going to come across P8. Quacko's is going to be P9. Denja is going to be P10. Happy Dragon P11. Zavith P12. And Lord Hands obviously being backmarked there, already done in P13. But it looks like the pace of the BRZ this race in Louis Telemon just too quick for Dens to have a chance here. And look at those tires. Incredible. Could have probably pitted 4 or 5 laps earlier for those softs. But yeah, it's a double win for Louis Telemon in the BRZ. So it's a great drive from him. Dens P2 finishes up. That's an amazing drive from him. Yeah. So thanks for hanging out with me. That was Tier 7, the first set of races on Suzuka. I'm the Canadian. JP pitted twice. Yeah, JP did the 2-stop and still managed a P5. So kudos to all the drivers. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hopefully the commentary is okay. If I butchered any of your names, shoot me a message, or if there's a way you'd rather have me pronounce your name, shoot me a message and I'll work that into the next one for you guys. But until next time, I'm the dude, the Canadian, and next week we'll be at Catalunya. So looking forward to seeing how these guys do on that track. A little bit less technical, but fast track, great track. So thanks for joining, and have a good night.